the extremist militant group Abu Sayyaf, who pledged allegiance to ISIS in 2014, made millions from hijacking ships, gun and drug trafficking, and most infamously, kidnapping for ransom, where foreign nationals were often targeted. Numerous Europeans fell victim to the group's tactics. In 2016, German sailor Jürgen Kantner and his wife Sabine Mertz were attacked while sailing off the coast of the Philippines and Malaysia. Sabine was killed during the kidnapping. However, Jürgen was taken hostage. In a former Abu Sayyaf stronghold, an ex-militant who witnessed Kantner's ordeal firsthand takes us to where the German hostage spent his last moments alive. After about 4 months, Jürgen was executed.
Dalawang araw kami naglakad pagkatapos bigla-bigla nagalis si Tato.
Bakit nagalit?
Kasi bakit daw di pinadala ng pera, parang daw linoko. Katapos pugutan ng ulo, pagkatapos itapon ng ulo, pabayaan na ng katawan doon.
The publicized kidnapping and execution of foreigners intensified international pressure on the Philippine Armed Forces to eliminate Abu Sayyaf. Today, tight security measures across the island of Sulu are maintained. Patrols on land and sea are carried out. Around 94,000 ships pass through the Strait of Malacca each year, using over 40 different ports. Pirates are known to target slow-moving vessels.
The significance of the Strait of Malacca in Singapore is because for the global voyage, it served as the middle point.
With an estimated trade value of US $3.5 trillion, securing the constant flow of maritime traffic through this strait is vital for the world's economy. Pirate gangs target the strait's many slow-moving ships and can easily blend into local fishing communities. 67-year-old fisherman Naman Rahman is aware of the dangers that pirates pose to ships in the Malacca Strait, working each day on the boundary line between Singapore and Indonesian waters.
Kalau kita aman, kalau untuk nelayan aman. Kalau untuk nelayan aman, kapal besar tak aman. Gitu. Kadang-kadang minyak ni kadang-kadang ada juga kapten bermain dengan orang banyak lah ini kan banyak minyak.
Naman has to navigate his small boat around the hundreds of ships that constantly pass through his fishing grounds.
Rata-rata kapal lalang. Kadang-kadang satu hari itu kita bisa habis dilanggar kapal tu kadang 10 piece jaring, kadang habis semua jaring dilanggar kapal. Kadang-kadang nelayan tak mau makan. Kalau tak ikut jejak di sana, kita tak bisa cari makan. Kalau daerah kita ini tak bisa cari makan, tak bisa lagi.
With fishing becoming such a difficult career option, some of the younger generation of fishermen are turning to piracy in the Malacca Strait, moving away from the traditional fishing trade and into illicit networks that make fast money.
Saya dulu Pak, nelayan lah, kecil-kecilan. Awalnya dulu mancing, tak lama saya kerja kelong. Tapi hasil makin tahun makin susah Pak, ekonomi itu makin tak tertutup.
Out-of-work fishermen are often the main recruits for pirate gangs operating in Indonesian waters.
Kita sudah mulai ngeluh dan kemudian ditawarkanlah sama kawan Pak satu pekerjaan manjat kapal inilah yang pernah kita kerjakan dan lama-kelamaan Pak macam pekerjaan ini enak dan menghasilkan duit yang besar.
The Abu Sayyaf, a militant pirate group native to Sulu, used their knowledge of the local terrain and surrounding waters to effectively target ships in the busy waters of the Sulu and Celebes Seas. A senior Abu Sayyaf militant responsible for holding foreign hostages agreed to be interviewed.
Berbagai
Di ba mo daw ko sila Abu Sayyaf? Way pag-usa ako na nagmimbil ako kanila ka hosted man on lukat mo kasi ako.
Hostage takings by pirates in Asia were rare by comparison to piracy in West Africa and the Horn of Africa. However, with the rise of the Abu Sayyaf in the early 2000s, kidnappings on sea and land became prevalent as the group abducted foreigners, business people, fishermen, and soldiers.
May on iban na muhado kayong kauman. Ugo sa mga di maglalawag kami sini ako mga beach ni mga taon. Pagkawa ng mga taon, siluan na mga bangka, dahon mari. Pag di na, doon na siya magdahon ng bundok. Inangon na mo, bang na mo nakakawa na, itapok na mo.
Despite remnants of the group still existing, much of its strength on land and at sea have been diminished from years of successful counterterrorism operations and the support of local defense groups who still patrol the area.
Bali atlaw yan sir, inform na mo sada, mag-start na mo in gun ban.
In and around Jolo, Sulu's provincial capital, military checkpoints are routinely set up and used in order to stop and search civilians. Gun bans around sensitive local elections are imposed. The Philippines is one of the least gun-restrictive countries in Asia. It's believed that there are an estimated 2 million loose firearms circulating around the archipelago. Half of these are unlicensed and illegal. Cutting off the supply of illegal firearms remains a key focus of the Philippine military in eliminating the threat of Abu Sayyaf. An arms dealer shows us his weapons collection. He then shows us how easy it is to acquire illegal guns in the southern Philippines, where gunsmiths run their own clandestine workshops hidden in the mountains.
Bili sa bundok, bukid. Mga pinaman na bili yan? 25. 25? Ito, caliber 40. Yung gawang dito lahat talaga, mga 12, ganun. 12, 15.
Pero yung ganyan, ginagawa rin
Bali, ano lang kasi ito, yung parts lang binili namin. Binili ko, tapos inasimbol lang. Para makita nyo yung paano gumagawa, may kakilala ko, isama ko kayo paano gumagawa ng baril.
In an undisclosed location, a gunmaker takes us to his workshop, where he makes and sells guns to private armies, pirates, and militants.
Trabaho nagpusil. So sa 20 katuig na. Dito ako gumawa ng baril.
Anong baril yung kuya?
45 yun. Inasimbol ko lang.
Ang isang baril, gaano katagal niyong ginagawa? Yung isang ganito, ilang linggo, ilang buwan niyong ginagawa?
3 linggo, 3 semana.
It takes these Filipino gunmakers around 3 weeks to assemble the weapons. The guns are all handmade with makeshift materials.
Tapos sa isang baril, magkano siya?
Pag wapay color, 6,000. Pag makulora na, 11.
So mas mura sa inyo yung baril.
Oo.
Magkano yung kapuhunan mo doon?
Ang ganansya namin sa kabukanig, o sa kalibo lang kayo, analas kahago.
Bakit ang baba nung ganansya nyo? Bigyan bang bumibili?
Oo. May nalagi gano'n mabuhi.
Illegal firearm factories are widespread in the southern Philippines. This dangerous cottage industry allows loose weapons to be sold and smuggled to private citizens, pirates, and crime syndicates. Revolver 38s and .357 Magnums are just some of the weapons made in this small workshop. Going by his alias name Tulong, this 70-year-old gunmaker is a master in making handguns. Having honed his skill and craft for over 50 years, Tulong can assemble a Revolver 38 in just under a month. Wrapping the weapon in a piece of newspaper, it's now ready for distribution.
Nagkaiba ako yung gamit sa Abu Sayyaf. Pero, di sa siguro ang tanan nagikan rin ako. Daghan mang na maligya dito, lupit sa ila.
Millions of dollars worth of weapons were purchased by the Abu Sayyaf group. Ransom payouts were used to expand operations and buy more weapons for piracy and kidnapping.
Kami sinapang, di mo di sinapang na mo, uminakaustid na kami. Inustid ka, indukat ka mo, kami na mo munti sinapang mataod. Napagtaod di sinapang na mo, ang pa kami ini-recruit tao, nagpataod kami Abu Sayyaf para mataod kami. Natimod din pag-ustid na mo, nakanat din pag-ustid biya na kuhan, kaulaulaan. O tao din magkabiyon mga nagbibinta mga milyonary, mga kuha magpagawa na pangbihon na mo, matindihan na mo, na magbikan, minsan halka na mga 50, iragang ka mo mga 200, bayaran na mo, da matawad na sin na mo ipagbayad. Tawad na lukat.
After years of fighting, the Philippine military has managed to capture some of the group's surviving members, closing down their networks and severely weakening their ability to conduct kidnappings, bomb attacks, and piracy at sea. Former members of the militant group are now behind bars, locked up in a 2-story overcrowded provincial jail in Jolo, capital of Sulu. A wooden table is used to help block the entrance. On entering the prison, all our requests to interview the former Abu Sayyaf members were rejected. A prison inmate provides an insight into what it's like to live inside Sulu's crowded jail.
I can explain the rules. That every inmate should be respect the jail guard and the mayor of its cell. And our second rules is we have to respect each other here to avoid the trouble, like hitting each other. Avoid trouble. It has 10 paddle. If you commit that rules, then you have to be paddled outside here. And number 4 is you cannot talk to visitor that is not yours.
A set of 10 rules are imposed on the prisoners, ranging from no spitting to no fighting. If these are broken, harsh punishments are given out.
In time of rest, we have here. You cannot create any sounds like you disturbing the one who is resting, especially in Salah, because we are Muslims. We are praying. You cannot create any noise. when we are praying. And
Prison volunteers help guard the cells. Strict schedules are in place for visiting times. Security is tight. In the past, jailbreaks have occurred. There are around 30 former Abu Sayyaf militants inside the prison walls. The ex-militants share jail cells with drug addicts and hardened criminals.
there are 29 inmates in there. Next, cell number 2. Cell number 2, the same. Mostly drug cases. Ilan naman lang? 28. There are 28 inmates there.
Due to the prison's high volume of Muslim inmates, a special area is designated for prayers during holy months. However, this is only reserved for prisoners with special status. Most of the men are locked up with 30 to a cell. Space is limited. Back in Indonesia, one of Southeast Asia's largest economies, its workforce consists of a burgeoning informal sector. With private jobs infrequent and unpredictable, many freelancers are forced to find work in other illegal economies that feed off the sea. Bangka, a small island lying southeast of Sumatra, is attracting more and more unemployed fishermen. An ex-fisherman who turned to piracy in search of economic opportunity also comes to Bangka to mine tin.
Kalau saya ke Bangka itu Pak, satu memang saya pernah juga ikut nambang di sana dan kemudian jaringan kita juga ada di sana Pak.
Freelance pirates who target ships in the Malacca Strait also apply their skills to work in Bangka's tin sea mining operations, which in turn are ravaging the coastline and further decimating fish supplies.
Dan ini Pak, timah ini semacam ibaratnya kita nelayan juga Pak. Kadang ada yang tebalnya, kadang ada yang tipisnya.
Divers must descend to the seabed floor, breathing through an air compressor. Some stay down for as many as 8 hours per day, extracting sediment in hope of finding tin. The abundance of offshore tin is a major economic driver in Bangka. Mining these deposits requires intricate knowledge of the ocean. The rapid industrialization of Indonesia's coastline, lax maritime restrictions, and widespread poverty all drive illicit economies like piracy, smuggling, and offshore mining, which feeds off the hidden realm of the sea, where crimes can be easily committed without a trace. But this economic opportunity is having dire environmental repercussions on Indonesian waters, further threatening the livelihoods of fishermen who are being pushed into other more extreme ways to make a living. Hundreds of former militants of the Abu Sayyaf group have now surrendered. Some have been reintegrated into the Philippine Armed Forces as members of an irregular auxiliary force, where they assist the army with security operations. An ex-Abu Sayyaf fighter now works on the side of the military, having surrendered after spending 4 years working for the militant pirate group.
Nagsabi sa akin yung anchor ko na mag-ano na daw kami, mag-surrender sir. Kasi daw, konti na lang daw kami sir. Tapos sir, napasama na ako sa kanila sir. Sa Pampo kami sir, nag-surrender sa isip sir. Tapos sir, yung nawakan na kami po sir na isip, may mga kasama din kami sir na nadala sa kanila sir na mag-surrender na rin sir. Tapos sir, yung 2021 na sir, nagsabi na sa akin sir yung pan namin na mag-capgo na daw kami sir kung gusto namin sir. Tapos sir, naging capgo na po kami sir.
After conflict, Some young ex-combatants are struggling to reintegrate back into civilian life, having witnessed and been part of the horrific crimes of the Abu Sayyaf group.
Ang buhay ko, nag-asawa ako nagka-2 beses. Ika-2 beses ko nag-asawa. Nakahanap na ako ng anak pagkatapos namatay din siya. Tumama din ng nanay. Tapos parang ako nawalaan ako ng parang mababaliw ako, pumunta na lang ako sa Malaysia, trabaho kahit mahirap, kahit wala akong pass, kulurong lang ako. Tapos wala, tago-tago lang ako doon sa Malaysia. Parang ako katulad, parang sa bundok.
In Sulu, decades of conflict between the Philippine Army and Abu Sayyaf halted much of the island's development. Things may soon be about to change. With peace and normalcy returning to the island, money and investment are moving in. Hotels and resorts are now opening for business, offering new prosperity and potentially new opportunities for others.